Hello, welcome to Gurukul's CAT 100 series, a series that's designed specifically to take you from your study room to the corporate boardroom. I am Prady Sharma and this is Verbal Mastery with Prady.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the Verbal Mastery with Prady series, a 100 Days to CAT series that's been designed specifically to take you from your study room to the corporate boardroom. Now, you can take this passage as a test if you just simply log on to www.thegurukul.org.in, okay, and register for the 100 Days to CAT test series. Alright, so this series is completely free for all of you. Okay, any CAT aspirant, this is completely free. We are going to upload 100 quant, LRDI and verbal ability tests. One test for each day just to keep you consistent with your CAT prep and help you crack those dream IMs that you so desire. Now, in case you don't want to take this as a test somewhere, you just want to follow along with this video, all you've got to do is pause the video when I ask you to pause it, read through. Then we'll go answer the questions. Once you're done with the questions and put down those answers in the comment box, discuss the passage and explain the questions. So before we get into the video, just drop a like, share this with all your friends and comment what you've been liking in these past few videos. Let's get into the passage. Okay, so this is your first paragraph. Pause the video here, jot down all the main points. We're going to get into the second paragraph. Now guys, pause the video here. This is your second paragraph. Pause the video here, jot down all the main points and then we're going to go into the third paragraph. Okay guys, so the last paragraph of the passage, pause the video here, jot down all the main points, then we're going to get into the questions. Okay, so question number 1. Nice question, simple question. Take no more than 1.5 minutes for this question guys. Pause the video here, put on that timer. Let's go into the second question now. Okay, another question guys, take only 1.5 minutes, put on the timer, pause the video here. Once you're finished, let's go into the third question. Alright guys, so third question of this passage, pause the video here, put on the timer for 1.5 minutes and then we're going to go into the fourth and the last question of this passage. Alright guys, so the last question of this passage, put on the timer, no cheating guys, 1.5 minutes only. And once you're done answering this question, comment all the answers in the comment box below. Let's see how many are going to get correct when I discuss the answers with all of you. Okay, so let's start discussing the passage guys. Why do we sleep? Considering our vulnerability to external threats while asleep, there must be a great evolutionary pressure to spend roughly 1/3 of our lives in this peculiar state. So what's he talking about? The sleep is such a unique state, okay? Yes. And why are we spending so much time sleeping? Although we know that there could be great external threats, that means something bad could happen to us while we sleep. We are obviously not conscious. Someone could come, just hit us. So anything bad could happen to us when we are sleeping. But why are we still sleeping? Okay. Indeed, the global benefits of sleep for the physical and mental health as well as the debilitating effects of chronic sleep deficit. So the destructive effects, the extremely negative effects of chronic sleep deficit, that means not having enough sleep continually, are well established by now. That means there are good benefits if you sleep, and if you don't sleep, there are very, very harmful things that are going to happen to you. Consequently, today's society has a seemingly insatiable, that means something that cannot be satiated, something that cannot be satisfied. So an unsatisfiable appetite to optimize sleep, that means to make sleep better, be it via smart mattress or the other gadgets telling us how well we've slept last night. So he's just trying to tell us that we as a civilization are obsessed with sleeping, right? And we want to make this sleep as better as possible. Yet, how exactly sleep experts, sleep exerts its beneficial effects has remained elusive. Elusive means mysterious, okay, something that's not very clear. Alright, so in case you do not know this meaning, please note it down. Elusive means unclear, right? and continues to puzzle researchers from various fields. So it still confuses people. So to confuse matters further, sleep is not a single monolithic state. That means not one state altogether, but throughout the night we cycle through different sleep stages. That means there are more than one stages that happens every single night. Each thought to serve potentially different functions. So each stage has its own work, right? So throughout this passage, what are the ideas that we're getting? First thing, sleep is good, not sleeping is bad. Yes, this is one idea that we get from here. Second one, we like optimizing sleep. This is another idea that we get. Yes, what else do we understand? We also understand that the sleep has multiple stages, right? So that's something else that we can look at. That sleep has multiple stages. Okay? And obviously one more idea that we get is that each of these stages has a function, has a different function. Right, so let's get into the paragraph number 2. Although deciphering the many roles of sleep is still a work in progress, one of the most intriguing effects of sleep from a cognitive neuroscientist perspective is the strengthening of new memories. So, what are we saying? Okay, we don't know yet what completely sleep does or what all happens in sleep, but one thing that if you're looking from a cognitive neuroscientist perspective or his viewpoint is that it strengthens new memories. It helps us make new memories, and this process is what is called as memory consolidation. So specifically a period of sleep after learning slows down forgetting compared to the same time spent awake. That means what? If you learn something and then you sleep immediately, then you have less chance of forgetting that than when you are awake. Okay, why would sleep be beneficial for memory? So this is a question he's asking, and obviously he'll explain it further. A simple explanation might be that it shelters the brain from incoming information that would otherwise interfere with the process of laying down lasting memory traces. Now this is an important thing for us. Okay, so what is he saying? He's saying that yeah, if you learn something and then you sleep immediately, like let's say you watch this YouTube video and then you sleep immediately, there's no other new information that's going to enter into your mind or your brain. So what's happening? The previous information is being protected by any interfering information that's coming in. So these memory traces, whatever you have learned, right, the memory traces get solidified easily. However, advances in brain imaging point to much intricate process, much intricate, guys. In case you do not know the meaning of intricate, please note it down. It is nothing but detailed. Okay, so however, advances in brain imaging point to much detailed, more detailed process than mere protection from distractors. So he's saying that okay, this may be the thing, but we have seen the imaging process and the research that's going on. It's telling us that it's more complicated, it's more detailed than just avoiding distractors. In particular, by sticking electrodes to the scalp before letting participants go to bed, sleep encephalography meaning something to do with the measurements of head. Okay, so sleep electroencephalography has revealed that sleeping brain is everything but switched off. That means what? This assumption that if we are sleeping, our brain is shut off from other distractors, that is wrong. Okay, a sleeping brain is also not switched off. Instead, it produces a mesmerizing concert of electrophysiological rhythms. That means there's some kind of waves that are being produced in our brain even when we are sleeping, expressed as oscillatory activity in the EEG signal. Fine, fair enough. So the two most prominent among these rhythms are slow waves, giving rise to the name slow wave sleep. Again, that's not really important. Okay, so the slow wave sleep is nothing but deep sleep as well. So there are two rhythms. Okay, the two most prominent among these rhythms are slow rhythms or slow waves and spindles. So we have two of these, right? So experimental work has consistently linked both rhythms on their own as well as their interaction to activate the memory process during sleep. That means slow waves also contribute to memory, spindles also contribute to memory, both together also contribute to the memory process. For example, now he's just trying to tell us how it happens, alright? An evening of heavy learning brings about greater levels of slow waves and spindles during subsequent sleep. That means you've learned something really, really heavy. Then when you sleep, your brain activity will show, higher slow waves and higher spindles. and experimentally enhancing slow waves via non-invasive brain stimulation seems to bolster. Again guys, if you do not know the meaning of bolster, please write it down. Bolster means strengthen. Okay, so experimentally enhancing slow waves via non-invasive brain stimulation seems to strengthen overnight memory retention. That means what? After you've learned something, if I put a small, what do I call that, an electrode or something onto your head and enhance the slow waves, you will learn better. Okay, you will have better memories. It will strengthen your retention. Current models propose that slow waves and spindles reflect the sleeping brain's internal machinery for transporting new memories out of the brain's early memory hub, the hippocampus, parking them in other brain regions for better suited for long-term storage. That means what? These slow waves and spindles, okay, these basically help in taking our memories from the hippocampus, okay, which is like a temporary memory reserve. Okay, so this is a temporary memory reserve and we are putting it in different places which are better suited to keep these memories for a longer time. Right, so it's basically sending out your short-term memory into the long-term memory. Right, now that we've understood this passage, let's get into the questions. So which of the following statements best describes the primary purpose? So he's asking about the primary purpose. Primary purpose means why is the author telling me all this? Right, so to advocate, that means to support or to talk for the need increased funding for neuroscience research. See, nowhere has he talked about, how to contribute to neuroscience research and all. He's just said that from a neuroscientist perspective, this is what happens, right? So this cannot be our answer. To argue that while sleep's overall health benefits are established, its precise mechanisms, particularly in memory strengthening, are still being uncovered. Yes, we know the overall health benefits of sleep, but we are still trying to understand, how it helps in memory strengthening. So this could be my answer if I don't find anything better. To critique modern society's attempts to optimize sleep through gadgets without a full understanding. Now guys, I understand that this has been mentioned in the passage, but it's only a very small part, right? So this is something called as a partial scope and this cannot be the primary purpose of the passage. Now, to detail the debilitating effects of the chronic sleep deficit, again, it's been mentioned 1 point. So, this will also be partial scope. So, this also cannot be our correct answer. So, the right answer should be B. Right. So, second question, guys. According to the passage, the earlier simple explanation for sleep's benefit. What was the simple explanation? That you sleep and no other information gets into your head. So you are, free from distractors. So your memory strengthening happens. Well, please remember that. Okay. So earlier simple explanation for sleep benefit to memory was primarily based on the idea that sleep. Now, what was it based on? The idea was that new memories won't get into your head, right? Or new information won't get into your head, right? So there won't be any information, right? Or there won't be any interference, correct? So A, facilitates the active transfers of memories between different brain regions. This is a newer one. This is not the simpler one. This is about the waves and all. So this should not be our answer. Protects the brain from new information that could interfere with memory formulation. Very good. That's what we were thinking. We have a suitable answer. Now see, if there's no other better answer, we will definitely go for this. Okay. Engages specific electrophysiological rhythms like slow waves and spindles to consolidate learning. Again, guys, this is about the waves, which is a newer approach. It's the imaging wala approach. So this cannot be our answer. Allows the brain to switch off. Now see, in the passage, he's clearly told us that the brain never really switches off, right? So this is an inconsistent answer for us. Okay. So this is an inconsistent answer. So we're going to remove this. The correct answer now will be B. Okay. Now let's get into the third question very quickly. The mention of slow waves and spindles in the passage primarily serves to, so why did he even mention slow waves and spindles? That's what's the whole question. Okay, so to illustrate the types of neural oscillations that occur exclusively during deep sleep, guys, again, this slow waves is what we've looked at as deep sleep, right? So the spindles should be completely irrelevant for us when we are talking about this in this particular context. Now, this will not be our right answer for that particular reason. Provide examples of brain activities that demonstrate sleep is not an inactive state. Although this actually captures, but that's not why he's talked about slow waves and spindles. Yes, because sleep is not an inactive state, we have these waves. but that doesn't mean these waves have been told only to tell us that sleep is not an inactive process, right? So this is a partial scope answer, so we're gonna remove this. Detail specific electrophysiological rhythms directly implicated in the active process of memory consolidation during sleep. Yes, these are what helps us consolidate our memories, gather our memories, right? So this is one possible answer for us. This is exactly within the scope of our question. Last option, suggest potential targets for future non-invasive brain stimulation techniques aimed at enhancing overall sleep quality. Now again, these things have nothing to do with enhancing sleep quality, right? They have everything to do with consolidating memories, learning, that kind of a thing. So obviously this should not be our answer. The best answer right now is C. So C will be our correct answer. Now let's get into the last question of this passage. The author's statement that today's society has a seemingly insatiable appetite to optimize sleep is most likely intended to. So why did he tell that there is an insatiable, that means unsatisfiable appetite to optimize sleep? Why did he say that? So criticize the commercialization of sleep tracking devices. See, from the tone of the passage, there's nowhere that we understand that the author is trying to criticize anything, right? So this is opposite in tone. So I'm going to remove this. Highlight a societal trend that contrasts with the scientific community's ongoing struggle to fully understand sleep mechanisms. Yes, this could be possible. Why? Because see, we are trying to optimize sleep without even understanding sleep, right? So we feel like we've understood sleep, that's why we're trying to make it better. But the scientific community is telling us that we have not yet reached that point. So there's this contrast that's mentioned in the passage. So this could be my possible answer if I do not find something better. Suggests that despite advancement, sleep remains largely unaffected by technological interventions. Again, has it been affected? Has it not been affected? Neither of it has been told to us. So this cannot be an answer. This is my assumptions if I'm going into this. Please don't get into the rut of assumptions right now. Emphasize the widespread recognition of sleep's crucial role in maintaining overall physical and mental well-being. Very good, very nice answer. Obviously, you should sleep to be physical and mentally well. But the whole point is, we're not using these technology and all to improve sleep, just to say that, we need to make sleep better. Right? So this cannot be my possible answer. The best possible answer is B. So that should be my correct answer. Now, if you watched this video till here, please hit that like button. It helps us keep motivated and help you stay on the track for this 100 days. We'll keep bringing new videos every day. Keep following this series. Also, you can watch the other two videos of Quant and LR, which will be right displayed on the screen. Thank you so much. I'll meet you again.
Hope you enjoyed learning from today's session.
This series is designed to help you with your CAT preparation and practice daily. We are with you in this journey.
To watch the next video, click here. And to watch Gurukul's CAT 100 series, study room to boardroom, the entire playlist, click here.
If you learned from today's session, like, share, and subscribe.